She has worked as an administrator and head across institutions under the Delhi government. So joining us today is Miss Ranjana Gupta.
One thing I'll just tell you that coaching has filled a vacuum that schools created.
Is there one student, just one student, whose face still comes back to you and you sometimes wonder where life took them?
So I think schools are very, very much relevant in shaping the behavior of the students, which coaching will not do it.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to FaceTime with Leaders, powered by Directors Institute, World Council of Directors. I'm your host, Sunny Pancholi, and my guest today has spent over 35 years inside Indian education, running schools, leading colleges, and quietly shaping thousands of futures across Delhi. She has worked as an administrator and head across institutions under the Delhi government, and she is a founder member of the Triveni Educational and Social Welfare Society, which today runs schools and colleges affiliated with the NCTE, UGC, IB University, and MDU. The reason I'm excited about this conversation is simple. Indian education is going through more change right now than it has in any decade since independence. And we get to hear from someone who has lived inside it long enough to know what is real and what is noise. So joining us today is Miss Ranjana Gupta. Miss Ranjana, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Sunny. Thank you so much for your generous introduction. Listening to it, I actually found myself reflecting on how quickly these 35 years have passed. Education is one profession where time does not move through calendars, it moves through generations. You suddenly meet a former student, a former doctor, a teacher, and even a policymaker. So you realize you have quietly witnessed the growth of society itself. Now, I'm very much glad that I'm here with you. But nowadays, I feel that education is not a sector, it's a family WhatsApp group where everybody is very chaotic, emotional, and everyone has its own opinion. So, definitely, I'm very happy to be with you, Sunny.
Likewise, Ms. Ranjana, and what a great note to start this conversation. So, uh, without any further ado, let me rightly dive into it. Ms. Ranjana, before we get into anything serious, I want to ask you the most honest question I can. After 35 years inside school and colleges, you must have crossed paths with thousands of students. Is there one student, just one student, whose face still comes back to you and you sometimes wonder where life took them?
Yes, absolutely. I just met him few years back, one student. He came from a very extremely difficult financial background, and he was a very quiet child, average academically. As per the report card, he was an average child. And to be very honest, he has a very poor handwriting. And he met me after, I think, 2, 3 years back, he met me. And I was shocked. He's a very successful entrepreneur. He's a vice president in a MNC and employing dozens of people. So he met me and I asked, what was the thing that changed? So he said, ma'am, once you said that marks are not the only proof of intelligence. So that clicked my mind. And years later, I am in front of you. So just one thing I would like to tell you. So that success, it just stayed with me. So it reminded me always that institutions do change the lives of the students, provided it could be a small conversation, a teacher's faith, or it could be a little dignity given to them as and when they require it. So that was very embarrassing and also a sort of success for me that I have at least attained something in the past 3 decades. When that boy who was such an average student and now he's a vice president in an MNC employing dozens of people. So that mattered a lot. So I thought that being in an education, as an educationist, I think I have done justice to some of my students. Not fully, but to some extent, I am very much happy to where am I now.
Absolutely, and that's exactly the kind of memory that reminds us why this profession exists. You can build the best institutions in the country, but it is always that one student, that one moment, one phase that defines a teacher's life. So thank you for
True.
sharing that, Ms. Ranjana.
Thank you,
And
Sunny.
that memory you just shared, it reminds me of something Sir Ken Robinson once said, that schools were originally designed for the industrial age, and we are still using that design in 2026. You have watched Indian schools from inside for 3.5 decades. Tell me honestly, has the Indian classroom genuinely changed in those 35 years? Or have we just put new wallpaper on the same old room?
No, definitely. The classroom has changed technologically, but not emotionally. Earlier, we had blackboards. Now we have the smart boards. In 1991, when I joined, students used to ask me, Ma'am, will this come in exam? Nowadays, in 2026, they ask me, will it come in live? So, hence, the real shift is from what to think and how to think. So that sounds great, but the deeper structure is still rather still we are exam centric. This is what I really feel it should not be. Till date, my goal was to finish the syllabus before February. Every teacher has the goal that I should be able to finish my syllabus because boards are coming, the examinations start. Curiosity is still treated as secondary to performance. We still reward compliance more than exactly the creativity. So, which really sounds very bad. At the same time, I do think students today are more curious. Curiosity is more there. They are globally more aware, more expressive than the earlier generations. The challenge is that our system has evolved slower than our children did. So, this was a great challenge. I
Rightly said, Ms. Ranjana, and that's a brave answer and an honest one. The fact that you are willing to say the system has still some rooms that look like 1990s, that's the kind of honesty most insiders avoid. Uh, Honestly, that's where any reform conversation has to start. So let me push you on that. Today, we are in the middle of a moment where coaching classes in Kota are openly being called factories, where the IIT pressure has been linked to student suicides, and where parents are paying lakhs to a parallel education system that has almost replaced the school. Now, from inside your institution, what has the coaching industry actually done to Indian education? And is the school still relevant in this game?
Sunny, one thing I'll just tell you that coaching has filled the vacuum that schools created. The coaching industry emerged because parents lost confidence that schools alone could secure competitive outcomes. So this was one thing, and schools were designed for broad development. Coaching were the centers that were designed for rank development, rather rank production. Once society started measuring success through entrance exams, naturally coaching became more powerful. So I still believe the schools are very relevant. Coaching may help the child to crack an exam, but schools, they shape behavior, values, then communication, emotional maturity. Also, they help you to make a better citizen, which I think no coaching institute will teach you. No empathy will be taught by them. No ethical judgment will be taught by the coaching centers. So I think schools are very, very much relevant in shaping the behavior of the students, which coaching will not do it. The danger is when schools themselves start behaving like the coaching centers, then education becomes very narrow. So this was the main thing which we have to go take care of it.
Absolutely. And that's an answer parents across the country need to hear. You have just named the elephant in the room that the school has been quietly outsourced, and the cost is being paid by children whose voices are usually missing from this conversation. And then there is, other side of it, the rise of edtech platforms like Byju's, and Byju's collapse in 2024 shook the entire sector. Parents who had paid in advance lost their money, children lost their tutors overnight, and the whole industry suddenly had to ask itself a difficult question. So, from your seat, what did Indian education actually learn from the Byju's story, and what should it have learned but did not?
One thing, Byju's was very painful, especially for the parents who lost money. Even in my Triveni and the educational institutions, parents had taken loans for Byju's. When it collapsed, the app stopped, but the EMIs didn't. So I think the biggest lesson was that education cannot be treated purely as a venture capital growth. Education requires trust. Trust, parents are not customers in the normal sense. Further, they are handing over the children's future. Children's future they have handed. No doubt, technology is good. Even I am using technology. It is really very fantastic. But it should not walk into the class before the teacher. It should not replace the teacher. It should go hand in hand. So one thing, technology should be accessible. It should, because it has a personalized learning. But technology without educational ethics becomes dangerous. So that has to be avoided. Unfortunately, I think the sector learned the financial lesson faster than the educational one. So,
Ms. Ranjana, that's the most balanced read of the Byju's movement I have ever heard. And you're not anti-edtech, and you are not naive about it either. The fact that you have come at this with the perspective of a system insider is exactly why the audience needed to hear this answer. Great. All right. So I welcome you to the next segment, which is quick fire round. Short, sharp, gut answers. So are you ready for it?
yeah, sure, Sunny, sure. We can continue with it.
Okay. So my first question to you: CBSE, ICSE, or a state board? Which one actually prepares a child for the real world?
Honestly, no board prepares it. Board matters less. It is the culture of the school.
Absolutely. Okay, next one. Should boards scrap the 10th board entirely? Yes or no?
No, they should not. They should reform them, but it should be a regular health checkup, not a heart attack.
Great. Next one. The most overrated subject taught in Indian schools today?
The most, I think, no subject is overrated. It is the rote learning that should be avoided.
Nice. Okay, next one. If you had to put one thing in every classroom, a smart board, a library, or a counselor?
Uh, I think it is a counselor because they carry today's children, they carry invisible pressure. So the counselor helps a lot.
Great. Last one of the quick fire round. One word for Indian parents in 2026.
They should pause. Pause is the word. Pause or breathe, whatever. I think more than the children, parents are overexcited. They don't let children breathe. They don't give them space. So I think our system is exam centric. So everybody is judging through the competitive exams that will decide the families, you can say families background or families outbringing, the whole thing. That's
Great, great. So, Ms. Ranjana, in 2024, the NEET UG paper leak, also in 2026, uh, shook the entire country.
Hmm.
Lakhs of students, years of preparations, parents' life savings, all of it thrown into chaos because of a governance failure in one examination. And it is not for the first time. Uh, we have seen leaked papers, fake universities, ghost colleges getting UGC recognitions. Now, from the inside of Indian education, why does these keep happening? And what does it tell us about how our education governance is actually structured?
Generally, leaks happen when governance is paper deep. Because our educational governance system often becomes larger without becoming stronger. One exam, lakhs of people appearing in that NEET exam. So that exam, I feel it becomes a national security risk. We expanded our examinations massively, but oversight, mechanisms, accountability system, and ethical safeguards did not evolve at the same speed. Also, education in India carries enormous economic pressure. One exam will change the entire family's future. Whenever stakes become so high, corruption finds entry points unless governance becomes exceptionally robust. So, the real issue is not the operational failure, it is the trust failure, and I think we have to bring it back.
That was honest and powerful answer, Ms. Ranjana. And we tend to talk about NEET leaks as one-off scandal, but what you have just described is a system issue. And until the country treats education governance as seriously as it treats financial governance, this is going to keep happening, unfortunately. Okay, so before we wrap up, Ms. Ranjana, you have spent your whole career inside institutions where governance is everyday work, committees, affiliated bodies, audits. So when you came across Directors Institute, what made you say yes to it? And what has DI added to a woman who has already governed schools, colleges, and a society for over 3 decades?
That's I believe governance today requires continuous learning, and even after decades of experience, you require somebody to support you. To be honest, after 30 years, I was bored of being sitting in the board meeting, but I had nothing to vote about it. So what I appreciated about the Directors Institute was that it created a mindset shift. And also, today, governance today requires, as I told you, continuous learning. Educations, even the educational institutions are not reflecting, or rather not, they are operating as easy as what we used to think earlier. Today, leaders must understand compliance, financial accountability, risk, ethics, technology, disruption, stakeholder management, and governance frameworks together. So I believe Institute made made me an experienced professional. It not even stepped back, but it rather created a mindset shift in me. It also helped me to ask the question, how do I run an institution, and also how do I govern responsibly in a rapidly changing India? So rather than telling me how do I run an institution, it helped me in governing it to be a response and also be responsible in a rapidly changing India. And within seconds, India is changing. And it is all whatever when we talk about the governance and all, until and unless the governance is good, we cannot move forward. All the leaks in the NEET paper, now also we are having again the NEET paper. We cannot avoid the leaks until and unless the governance is good. We'll put an FIR, the officers will be accountable for a particular committees will be set up. And then again, after a year or 2 years, it will be the same old story. So that has to be avoided. And Directors Institute helped me to make myself a better governance. How do I deal with it? So that I appreciated it. That mindset, what they shifted. Before I was not aware of it, but they helped me how it has to be taken into account. And as the country is changing, India is changing, your governance as per the time also has to be changed. It's not all the traditional methods you have to follow. You have to go as per the technology, as per the environment. And nowadays, due to the technology, even a 3-year-old child is more aware. He'll question you, why you are doing this to me? So you have to be very tactful when you handle all these situations. So thank you, Sunny.
Great to hear that, Ms. Ranjana, and thank you so much, for joining us. There is a kind of leader who doesn't seek attention. They just keep showing up year after year for thousands of children and hundreds of teachers, and that work quietly adds up to a generation. And you are one of those leaders, truly. So, what stays with me from this conversation is how unafraid you are to say the difficult things about your own industry. We need more voices like yours in this conversation. Voices that love the system enough to be honest about it. So, once again, thank you so much for joining us. This has
Not
been
only
FaceTime with Leaders, powered by Directors Institute, World Council of Directors. I'm your host, Sunny Pancholi, signing off for now. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and most importantly, stay ahead. Thank you so much.